Even members of the Republican Party in the U.S. have begun demanding Witkoff's dismissal after transcripts of his telephone conversations were leaked online. Why do you think this was done?
First of all, there is nothing to be afraid of. The voices now calling for Witkoff's dismissal are primarily trying to disrupt the modest progress being made toward resolving the situation through peaceful negotiations. Of course, there will be people who stop at nothing to disrupt this process. But if you look at it, read about it and abstract yourself from whether it is true or not, there is nothing to be afraid of. President Trump has also indirectly spoken out in defense of Witkoff. This is typical negotiator behavior, so I wouldn't overstate the destructive significance of these leaks.
Bloomberg has always seemed to be a fairly respectable publication.
However, the term respectability should probably no longer be used in relation to Western media because no one is shy about anything anymore, and no one feels professional shame anymore.
Where was Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán all this time? What was he doing? Why did the negotiations take so long to start?
He was preparing for the negotiations here in the Kremlin, where all the necessary conditions were provided for this. Political and corruption scandals are spreading and currently shaking the country's political system to its core. The situation in Ukraine is very difficult.
After all, we have all witnessed over the last 2 to 3 years how any dissent is suppressed in Ukraine. Why is Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky currently unable to address this crisis within the country using his usual methods and approaches?
He made many political mistakes when bills were passed and then withdrawn. They have their own relationships with Westerners, who control NABU, National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, and other structures in one way or another. Of course, now that there is a trend towards a peaceful settlement, there are many players involved. One thing is clear: each day that passes is a lost day for Zelensky and the Kyiv regime. Their position worsens within the country and on the front lines with each passing day.
Since this morning, you have been asked about the searches at the Ukrainian president's office head, Andriy Yermak. That's it. Yermak has already been dismissed. Now many people are recalling that Zelensky once said back in 2021 that Yermak came with me and would leave with me. What do you think will happen next with this regime?
Right now, I think there are more questions than answers in both Europe and America regarding the unprecedented political crisis that has erupted in Kyiv. The regime is falling apart due to corruption surrounding the money given by Americans and Europeans. It's a tangled mess, an explosive mixture. Everyone has something to think about. I don't think anyone can predict what will happen in Kyiv tomorrow.
But this is the Anti-Corruption Bureau, which, as we understand, is not entirely Ukrainian. It is supervised by the United States and other Western countries. So these are signals from the West after all.
Listen, it's probably up to political analysts to guess whether these are signals or not, but it's obvious that something is happening.
Until yesterday, we didn't know that Prime Minister Orban would be coming. Today, he arrived. Putin's visit to India has already been announced for next week. Many events are happening. At the same time, we are still waiting for Witkoff.
Everything has accelerated significantly. All processes in international affairs have also sped up. This is due to the major war being waged against our country and the significant changes taking place in international political, diplomatic, legal, and economic relations. These changes are causing all processes to speed up. Of course, countries must adjust their schedules accordingly and be prepared to respond quickly to everything. Our president responds quickly and effectively, serving the best interests of our country.
Many of the protocol nuances that used to be mandatory are now.
Of course, they are now taking a back seat. The main thing now is the speed of meetings, exchanging opinions, obtaining information from primary sources, and making necessary decisions.